Whose performance stood out more than Amanda Lemos, man? You fight the karate hottie, Michelle Waterson, right? And this is someone who, I mean, listen, she outstruck Lemos with her little sidekicks and, using her old school style. But this is kind of another case of the new generation rising above the older generation. Even though Amanda Lemos is older than Michelle Waterson-Gomez, even though Amanda Lemos is less experienced and all that good stuff, I just think that we saw a passing of a torch here once again. Guillotine choke right here, brother. I mean, it was simple. That's all you needed. As soon as it got to the grappling exchanges, for whatever reason, the commentators were talking about this fight in such a way as if Amanda Lemos couldn't grapple, like she had no grappling acumen, which I thought was actually kind of crazy. I just felt like with the way that the fight was going, she would have been able to land the knockout. But AJ, I understand it now. I get it. I didn't get it at first. I know why the TKO prop was unreasonable for Amanda Lemos. Michelle Waterson is not, if you look at the other opponents that Amanda Lemos has been fighting, Michelle Waterson is not, I'm just going to stand in front of you and just let you tee off on me. She's constantly moving, constantly out the way. So when you're throwing the big bomb, which Amanda Lemos doesn't put together a lot of combinations, you throw the big bomb and she just slightly roll with it or get out the way, it lends to, all right, well, you're going to try to outpoint me, you're kind of karate style me, and I'm going to have to find a way to isolate your movement. It didn't happen. Were you surprised by the submission, or seeing how the fight was playing out, you're like, okay, that made a lot of sense?
Nah, man, unfortunately not surprised at all, because I love Michelle Waterson-Gomez as an actual fighter, man. She's, like you said, elusive, sees the things coming, always moving, stays busy. You're never going to catch her flat-footed, sitting there, throwing haymakers left and right. She uses her brain in the fight game. It's very, very, it is a fan-friendly way of fighting, especially when you see the technique and the technician behind it, man. But unfortunately, this is kind of what I expected. Once things got going, it seemed like Amanda Lemos was just taking over. Because yeah, sure, the power in the hands wasn't there in that first round. Back and forth, a little more back and forth than I was expecting. As Michelle Waterson is a really good fighter, but then once things got to the ground and you saw the power differential, the way Lemos was rolling, man, it made a lot of sense, and I was kind of not really too surprised. Were you shocked by the situation that unfolded?
No, not at all. Like I said, once I started seeing how the fight was kind of playing out and unfolding itself, I was like, okay, you're not going to be able to just sit there and just tee off on her. You're going to have to find a different way. So I was like, oh, that minus 110 decision is looking real juicy right here. But then a lot of people were arguing, well, Waterson-Gomez won the first round with her offensive wrestling. And I was like, well, and really, I guess it depends on how the judges look at it. But Lemos was landing all of the damage. All of the damage was on the side of Lemos. So this was just a big win, man. And with this win, Lemos is back in that top 10 type situation. Right. And I just think that she's the dark horse, man. The win or the loss against Andrade, which was somewhat of a moral victory for her. This win over another legend right here, she's just getting catapulted. I just felt like the UFC is giving her the rub a little bit, and she's taking full advantage of it. So all I can say is that I think her style is going to be very successful against a lot of these fighters, except the ones who just focus strictly on the takedowns because of the very tall stance of Lemos. Everything is very up here. I'm just plodding forward, very rooted into the ground. So you know what I mean? But until that happens, man, I think that she's going to make waves and then get herself to a title shot here in the next couple of years. She's 35 years old, so she only has so much time. But that was a huge win by Amanda Lemos. She did get outstruck, though, by 15 strikes, man. So, volume is going to be important, too, because she threw half of the amount of strikes. 35 total strikes. She landed 20. For Waterson-Gomez, 62 thrown, 35 landed, man. So it was a big co-main event, man. But this is another one of those situations where it's like not that much happened, really, at the end of the day. But, I mean, a win is a win. And